All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's your brother, your son, your friend Michael Aposa coming to you live from the Destiny Studio. It's a Dream Big show, and in fact, we are getting bigger, better each day. Today, I have in the studio with me your one and only TMC. Ha! TMC, how you doing, sir?
I'm blessed by God's grace. And yourself?
In fact, the energy that is coming from you to me makes me want to shout on top of my voice.
Oh, please calm down.
bro, you see, this is a long and waiting moment to have with you.
Wow, I'm so
honored. We've seen TMC do lots of things behind the scenes. We see. I want you to tell us what he is going to do, but we see TMC, and today is a privilege to have him live in his Destiny Studio. So once again, you're welcome, TMC.
Thank you for having me.
What is happening with you, TMC?
Life is happening to me. Basically,
you are growing beard.
Yes, I'm growing beard. So many things. I'm beginning to see life in a different perspective. You know, whilst you grow, things begin to change, and you begin to realize that, hey, so this is how things are supposed to be done. These are things are supposed to be done. So basically, life is happening to me now.
So, TMC, we want to get to know you. We know TMC as the vocal piece, the male vocal piece, because some people have even projected that one day you may win the vocal artist, the male artist of the year.
Really?
Some people have projected. I'm not saying that that's what I'm saying. Some people have projected. Now, how did you get here?
Okay, so I'm just going to try and make it snappy and short. Me, myself, actually, personally, I never knew I could sing. I come from a music background. I come from a music family. My dad is a music director. My mom is a vocalist. The firstborn is also a musician. He plays all the instruments and he sings as well. And then the secondborn same. Then myself, and then the lastborn. But for me, I had no idea. There was nothing that was pivoting my life towards music. I just felt like, okay, I just find myself in a music family. So it was a time that my dad was actually going to, teach the choir, and then he went with me. So I will never forget this. There's this vocal practice that he was teaching them, because like like some funny things. All vocal practices that we do as vocalists are very crazy and funny. Sometimes someone go like, you watch the person like, hey, are you okay? So I came back home and I started teasing my dad with it. So anytime I saw him, I'm like, hey, Mr. So then, for some weird reason, I actually started developing an interest in that thing. So I was like, okay, let me just do it for fun. Then in primary, I remember somewhere around primary 6, 5, there's a friend called Elvis. Mm-hmm. He was my close friend those times. Back then, primary, you have close friends and all of that you can do all stuff with. So every Wednesday in my school, my dad was the PTA chairman then, but every Wednesday in the school, it's like, it's time for worship. So we do that worship session every Wednesday in our school. So he called me and he was like, okay, why don't we try and sing today in school? And I was like, okay, well, I've been trying to do some vocal practices at home, so maybe I can try it here. Then during that season, this song had become very popular. Even that one crowd, even if you're not sad, crowd, when you start singing the song, of course, it gets to you. So it was time for song administration, as it were. And then both of us came to sing. He actually sang plenty of the songs because I didn't really know. The only thing I did was I just came with the chorus. But I realized all of a sudden, just when I started singing, everybody will pick money, pass by him, and come and put the money on my forehead. I was like, oh, okay, this business is actually really good. Let me try and continue from there. So basically, that's where he started from. Then the following week, I rather called him and I was like, Charlie, yo, let's go and sing. But it was actually because I knew I was going to get something on top of my forehead. So did I say on top of my forehead? Get something on my forehead. Please, Marcus Incorporated, your want. So that's how the whole thing started. And then gradually I got to the SHS, and then I find myself in a choir commissioned, Spirit Intensity, Melodies of the Spirit. And then that was when the essence of really identifying what you carry started. So it started somewhere basically in SHS. And then I find myself being a music director, I just realized I had a talent all this while, but I never discovered it well until SHS when I found myself in the circle, and then they started training me. Then I got to the university, became the music director for the whole of mass choir and gospel explosion music director. I mean, the MDs were a lot, and the awards were actually a lot. So that was when things started, let's say, feeding me and then massaging me to where I'm supposed to be, and then gradually I got to where I am now. It's a lot, but I've tried to, just.
And whilst we've been at Ace, I still get the impression that if you had not done music, without done music.
Yes. Oh, yeah. About that, I actually did music in school. It was part of my extracurricular activity. So, yeah, I read music in school as well.
So you don't just have the skill of singing, you actually understand the act of singing.
By the grace of God.
Oof.
Yeah, but I think I do.
Yeah. You see, somebody will wonder why now? Why are we hearing TMC now? Because if you've gone to school, if you've been trained from the home, if this is what you have been doing all this, why now?
Okay, so the Bible says that there's time for everything. God has his own times and seasons. And in every season, when we talk about a season, I think mostly when we mention season, what comes to mind is when the time is up. But the season actually starts from the birth to the time you are born. So from the birth to labor is what we call the season. So I believe that I was in that stretch or that range of season where now I know that I have this talent, but what is this talent going to serve? What is the purpose? What is the ministry that this talent has been called to do? Is it just to come and sing? Or it is supposed to deliver a certain ministry? Is it a prophetic ministry? Is it a healing ministry? Is it an evangelistic ministry? What exactly does the content or the medium called the music or the singing hold for me? So I had to take time to discover it for myself. Prayer in my closet, God revealing a lot of things to me and all of that. I've actually been struggling with, start something. So I've been struggling with it for like 3 years. I think somewhere 2021. Okay, so let's say late 2022, so like roughly 3 years. Yes, and at the point I was becoming very stubborn because I have people don't really believe it when I say it, but I have a little bit of, not a little bit, I actually have an inferiority complex. So sometimes I feel like I'm not too good. Yeah, right. But those who are very close to me, they know. So sometimes I know a friend, he's actually a sound engineer. You'll always be going like, you're always helping people to, I think the sound engineer cries here. It's like, you're always helping people to do things, but you don't want to start yours. But he actually didn't really understand because the voices and the pressure, hey, can I do this thing? Everybody's looking at TMC, like you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to come up with this. So many confusion in their head. And I'm the only person who understands myself because nobody does. When I tell people, they feel like I'm trying to bluff but one thing I realized about creatives, a lot of creatives, is that most of them actually don't believe in themselves. Yeah, most of them have that inferiority complex. So they are doing it. It's nice. Oh, Charlie is beautiful. They go like, oh, really? And you think maybe he just said, no. He actually really meant, are you sure? Like, he really meant that he's not too sure about what you're saying. Yeah. But they don't know. Yeah, they don't know. So it took me a lot of time. Had to struggle with it. I was like, okay, God, you know what? I think on the other side, even though I'm thinking that I'm not ready and all of that, it is also pride in disguise. So have your way. Just do what you want to do. So I just allowed him. And I was like, okay, move. Because one thing I realized that when God told Abraham to move, it was after he moved that everything started falling in place. So if you don't move, the favor is in the movement. It is not in the stagnancy. So when you move, that's when the favor starts to come up with. So I had to move. And then everything started falling to place. Because the Bible says that the lines will fall in pleasant places for you. So that's how it started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So this one, my producer just asked me to ask this. They say time you sing, they see you close your eyes. Is it that you're catching something? Because we know you for vocals. So if TMC doesn't struggle with vocals, why close his eyes? What is it that he just want to find out?
Why do I close my eyes? Sometimes I just want to, not watch the crowd. Because sometimes when you watch the crowd, you may be confused. And it's like you might even miss your lyrics. Sometimes I probably just want to focus. Sometimes by reflex, if I realize I've actually closed my eyes. And I'm still struggling to have that kind of interpersonal relationship when I'm singing on stage. I still have that bit, Sometimes it comes once in a while. Sometimes I can really get that courage and then I can speak to people and all of that. But sometimes it's not like that because my natural personality, I'm not really good at approaching. So now God has sent me, He has given me a task, and my personality is wrapping around the calling. A typical example is Moses. He was a stammerer. But then God has asked him to go and do something. So the ministry is wrapped around the stammerer. So God had to give him Aaron to be his spokesperson. So this is me, my natural personality. Sometimes people go like, acquire what to say. That is his personality. And fortunately or unfortunately, now he's been called to do an assignment. So now he has to struggle his way through that personality. Because if you try to be all calm all the time, you'll not be able to approach the people. So now you need to learn how to approach. So sometimes that's what happens. It's not intentional. It just happens. Once now, before I realize, I've just closed my eyes. Sometimes if I get the film, I'll just look inside the camera or this camera and be like, hey, you, what's up? So that's how.
All right. So behind all the firm facets and the vocals, strong vocal that we see, is also a man who is battling with inferiority complex. But hey, so this to say that don't let any selflessness come or hinder the calling of God upon your life. And TMC has done that and has proven himself. He's done a lot of things on the scene and behind the scenes that today you wouldn't even know whether he has some things like that in behind. I think when we should even ask more, probe more, we will get more. But we want to wrap up and want to find TMC. You cannot live here without us asking you this question. Which hood are you from?
I am from Obuasi. I am a typical Obuasi guy, like typical. I was born and bred in Obuasi, like typical Obuasi guy. I've lived all my life in Obuasi until tertiary took me to KNUST Kumasi, and I live a little bit in Obuasi and a little bit in Kumasi. I came to Accra just in 2016 or 2015, no, 2017 or 2016, one of them. Yeah, so.
Okay, so now that we know the hood, Charlie, Obuasi for. Okay, Charlie, we've heard that you have your maiden program coming up.
Right.
TMC, what should we expect? Like, people are super excited to see TMC on stage. The same man who has helped a lot of artists come up. What are we to expect?
Be it unto you according to your words. I mean, I believe that you should expect primarily the move of God.
TMC, let me start by asking you this question.
Yeah.
What actually inspired this program?
What inspired this program? Yes. How do I even put it? It was the burden that inspired it. So God kept speaking to me, and I kept, not listening to it until it became a burden, such that you'll be walking and people are telling you that I had a dream and you've done this. People tell you that, just people who don't even know you. So then, I'm not saying that I actually relied on what they said, but it was actually a confirmation, because the Bible says that by two witnesses, a testimony is established. So I had to rely. I took inspiration from what they were saying. Then I realized that everywhere I go, like Jonah, if I don't take it, I might turn into a Jonah. So you know what? This is the assignment God has given you. You keep running away from it, but this is the time. So it was the burden on my heart that actually inspired me to do it.
All right. When are we having this? Where are we having it? Any details?
On the 30th of April. It's happening on the 30th of April. Wow. Time is 4 p.m. And the venue is Action Worship Center. Action Worship Center at Dansuman Keep Fit Down. Dansuman Keep Fit Down. Time 4 p.m. Action Worship Center. Dansuman Keep Fit Down. There are great men and women of God who are also coming to support. The likes of my own mom, Empress Gifty, Efe Grace, MOG, Okopi Peterson from Nigeria, and Overflow Incorporated, my beautiful family, and my church choir, His Temple Ministry. Yes, and I believe there's going to be a great gathering that you don't want to miss out. Yeah.
In fact, we let's wrap up. It's humbling having TMC in the studios. You've heard it all from the man. 30, you don't want to be anywhere. In fact, 30, I have to split myself. And you know why I have to split myself. We don't want to be anywhere except, where is it again?
Action Worship Center. Dansuman Keep It Down. It's actually Action Chapel, earlier called Action Chapel. Just in case you may not get it right, yeah, it's Action Chapel.
So former Action Chapel, now
Action Worship Center. Great.
So please, let's all be there. Let's go support a brother. Don't go there. Don't leave your wallet and your purses at home. Please go there and support a brother holistically. Holistically. Let's go there in spirit and in truth. And I'm telling you, you will be nothing less but blessed. We are still live from the Destiny Studio and there's Dream Big Show. We believe that we will bring you up close to your artists, the ones that are yet to come and the ones that are already in the industry. And we want to find out everything that, especially the hood that made them up. Now we know that TMC is an Obuasi person. So please, Obuasi Kumase, don't leave your brother hanging. You all should fly your tickets and, be there to support your brother. And also the Accra guys who have been, milking TMC because everybody was a part of TMC. Please, let's all be there on the 30th to support the brother. God bless you till we catch you some other time. Stay blessed. TMC, any last word?
Shout out. Is it shout out or shout?
Yeah,
shout out to my father, Bishop New Kwafio, my spiritual father, Bishop New Kwafio. Daddy, thank you so much for everything. I'm so grateful. God bless you so much. And to my own very family Action Worship Center, I really appreciate you all so much. To my mom and dad, I say I love you all. Thank you all for your teachings and your support. It has brought me this far. And to all my friends and to all my loved ones, I say that God bless you all so much. Thank you. Oh yeah. We exalt the Lord. We hallow your name. You deserve it. So how can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? And words are not enough to say thank you. And Lord, you're my everything. How can I express my gratitude when I begin to count my blessings and name them one by one? It surprised me what the Lord has done for me. Hey, Lord, you're my everything. Oh, how can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? And words are not enough to say thank you, Lord. And Lord, you're my everything. And I call you Jireh, Lord, my provider. And I call you Nisi, you are my banner. I call you Rapha, you are my healer. And Lord, you're my everything. Yes, I call you Jireh, Lord, my provider. And I call you Nisi. Yes, you are my banner. I call you Rapha, you are my healer. say thank you. Oh Lord, yes, you're my everything. And words are not enough to say. Kabiyosi, and Lord, you're. And words are not enough to say thank you. And Lord, you're the enemy fa me why to me right Sibre Fabu home Panomami Namasema Aye wofe Help me say now Doing Saturate Me won't to folio in kasi yetawasi yiwaye now in saturate me will do no to folio Don't forget, he can see, yatawasi, you are yatawasi, you are yatawasi, you are oh. Yatawasi, you are Yatawasi, you are Yatawasi. For some in your beer, Minyobia, say oh yes you. Minyobia, say oh yes you. And don't say oh. Nyasa sawo minyobia sawo yesu etontom sawo nasi sawo minyobia sawo yesu minyobia say oh yeah Sametiasiana miwuyane nyamia. Apima titiagu, amatitiato na miwankwatia. Asida sono kwa yefamano. Aye sono kwa yefamano. Asida sono kwa yefamano. Oh, aye sono kwa yefamano. Asida sono kwa yefamano. Aye sono kwa yefamano. Sametiasiana miwuya neye nyamia. Apima titiagu amatitiato na miwankwatia. Asida seono kwa yefamano. Aye seono kwa yefamano. Yes,